This is Laurie Houston, and we're back with the Willows, and we're going to talk about stress. So,
Indeed, yes. Stress, the thing that appears to create so much stress in one's life. Yes. This is an understanding that stress is an action that occurs to an individual or through a circumstance. He said this or that happened or she did that, and I felt so stressed. This approach is understanding here that it is a cause and effect kind of process. Therefore, stress must naturally come from outside of one's consciousness and into one's world. Well, in actual fact, the events that do occur around one in a day-to-day basis are simply events. If you do not know about them, then they cannot stress you. If you do know about them, you then have a choice as to the level of stress that are going to affect you as a result of this information. Which boils down, of course, to the most common denominator, meaning that stress itself is a perception. You understand? A perception of how one would understand what is going on around oneself. So, something happens to you, you feel stressed. Someone says something to you, you feel stressed. You may take a step back and say to yourself, what is the root cause of that stress? And in actual fact, the root cause of the stress is generally something that happened to you in the past, something that you are equating to the present, and something that in the past created a state within you of stress. Therefore, this new activity, this new situation, acts as a potentiator for more stress in your life. Now, the thing to consider is, of course, what is happening to you? Is it stressful to that entity or that situation or those circumstances? Or is it just stressful to you? Well, the obvious answer is, of course, it's always about you, which we always say with a smile is what life is all about. However, when you understand the nature of this, you then have an opportunity to begin to make choices in your own consciousness about how stressed you would like to be when events occur around you, and secondly, and just as importantly, whether you want to be stressed at all. Because stress places oneself in a condition or a mental situation where one is not thinking clearly, and is not necessarily, shall we say, in alignment with one's purpose of the moment. In actual fact, what is necessary is to be, when there are events around that would normally cause a stressful event for you, is to be in a state of mind where you are not stressed internally, thereby putting you in, shall we say, a more clear state of mind, a more resourceful state of mind. You see? So, this being the case, you would understand being in a more resourceful state of mind thereby gives you opportunity to come up with solutions to the situation, rather than just to have an emotional reaction. So, this is a very short, shall we say, thumbnail sketch of how to begin to rethink or reframe one's reactive state. But imagine it as much as that this is the case. The sun is shining. It is a warm day, perhaps, but it is not causing any stress. However, if you take a magnifying glass out, hold it under the sun, and then concentrate the sun in its reverse magnification, the sun then becomes very intense in a very single spot. And you can actually burn things with that sun as if you were lighting a match to it. That's what stress is about. What the important thing to realize is you don't need a magnifying glass to take the energy around you to concentrate it into a stressful situation for yourself. So, this, of course, is just the beginning of this thinking process. But important to note here that by taking this into consciousness, by listening to these words, you will begin to have a more effective way to help release you from that stressful situation.
Nice.
You see?
Perfect. All right, you've been listening to The Willows. If you want more information on David Watson or The Willows, go to the website askthewillows.com. And thank you again.